That's what I told him. I said it's totally up to the prosecutor, so. We would,
Sixth. And February 12th. What's the day today?
19th.
Okay.
All right, whenever you're ready to go on record.
Please rise. Today is the 19th day of February in the year 2025. The Frisco Municipal Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Ron Carlson presiding.
Please be seated. Welcome to this, our February session. For many of you, it's the first time in court, or at least the first time in this court. Court procedures require on each case that we first review your original ticket, and that means I have to state to you the name of the charge and ask you if that means you understand the nature of the charge. If you don't, I can read you the statutory definition, but all it's asking is, do you know you have a speeding ticket? Do you know what speeding is? Just those common definitions. If you understand the general nature, it's not meant to get into the facts of your case. Secondly, I'm required to tell you the maximum possible penalty on your charge. And then third, I'm supposed to ask you sufficient questions to establish that you've read and understood your legal rights and answer any questions you have about your legal rights. And then and only then can we get to how to handle your case. I know lots of people would like to just come up and I have a deal, let's do the deal and go, but that's not how it works. Procedures are designed to protect your legal rights, to make sure you understand why you're here and what you're doing. So please be patient. That being said, it looks like the first case I have is it, I can't tell the way they wrote it, which is your first name. Anthony, is it Inletto?
Joseph Anthony Ippolito.
Okay, I couldn't tell which order your names were in. Sir, you are here on an alleged violation of Frisco Town Code Section 130-11, camping. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
The maximum penalty for all municipal ordinance offenses by state law is up to 364 days in jail and up to a $2,650 fine or a combination of both. Do you understand the maximum possible penalty?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were provided the written advisement of legal rights. Did you get a chance to read and review those rights?
I did, Your Honor.
Do you feel you understand them?
I do understand.
Do you know what a trial is?
Yes.
And you understand that sheet is to describe all the rights you would have leading up to and would have at a trial.
Yes.
And you understand you have a right to an attorney.
Yes.
I'm trying to read the notes here. I don't have any plea notes. Oh, wait, okay, that's your advisement rights. So tell me, what are we doing with you? You can postpone this to talk to a lawyer. You can plead not guilty and have a trial. You can talk to the prosecutor if you've not already about a possible bargain, or you can plead guilty to the charge as it is. Out of those choices, what would you like to do?
Your Honor, I have a verbal motion for dismissal underneath the First Amendment. Will you hear this verbal motion?
No, not till the end of the docket. And if you want to wait till the end.
I have another form of evidence I'd like to bring, but it's digital. It's a papal decree.
Well,
I didn't know if I can send that to the clerk.
in general, motions are heard separately from the advisement on a separate date.
Yes.
If we get done with all these other folks waiting, I might consider doing that, but normal procedure would one require it to be in writing. And then we have to see if the prosecutor objects to lack of notice. And secondly, we usually put those at an earlier time so we don't hold up everybody else here. So,
I plead guilty, Your Honor. I can't lie.
all right, is that in lieu of your motion? All right. You understand? Then I have another checklist I have to go through, so please be patient. You understand by pleading guilty, you're giving up all the rights listed in the right sheet, which means there'll be no trial, there'll be no witnesses. The prosecutor won't have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You're giving up your presumption of innocence and right to an attorney.
I agree, Your Honor.
Did anybody threaten you, force you, coerce you, or make you plead guilty against your will?
No, Your Honor.
Did anybody
Plead fear the court.
Did anybody promise you anything that's not been said in court? Did anybody promise you anything to get you plead guilty? These are again required questions. Are you under the influence of anything that affects your ability to make a intelligent, knowing plea? Like, are you under the influence of any prescriptions, alcohol, or drugs, or similar things? And then finally, is this your free and voluntary plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
And now we finish the qualifying questions, and I get you to ask you to repeat, how do you, in light of all of the things we've just discussed, how do you plead to the charge? The court accepts your plea if be freely, voluntarily, and knowingly made. You're entitled to make a statement and welcome to, prior to sentencing, either about what happened or what you think the penalty should be, and or you're also not required to say anything. Is there anything you'd like to tell them?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll go forth with reading. It's kind of like a duality here. Your Honor, I come before the court today in defense of my faith and my religious practice as a Knight of Malta, protected by the First Amendment, the right to practice one religion freely, as I am an American-born citizen and part of a sovereign order of Malta by birth and by service. Honestly, honesty, poverty, and chastity is my oath, along with descriptive sets of rules that I must follow by the Grand Master Fra John T. Dunlop's order. And on my holy quest to become Grand Master of the order, I hereby motion for dismissal. I'm not reading that part. And that's all I have to say, Your Honor.
All right. I am familiar with the Knights of Malta. I don't think that exempts you from town's camping ban. So this appears to be a first offense, camping violation. And are you employed?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Court would order you then, since you don't have income, to do community service by donating your time of service to any church, charity, any 501c3 recognized charity. And the amount of that would be for 4 hours.
Like me to serve that, Your Honor. Anywhere?
We let you pick. I don't know if you're local or not. Sometimes you get people from Denver and they go to Goodwill or Salvation Army. Up here, there's FERC, the Family Intercultural Resource Center over in Silverthorne. I heard on the radio that there's a fundraiser for the Breckenridge Outdoor Education Center, which is for handicap skiing. We certainly don't lack for charitable organizations. There's SOS, Snowboarder Outreach Society. There's a big choice, but we don't make that choice for you. It's your job to find somebody and have them send us a letter that you've completed those hours on their letterhead. We don't take your word for it.
It has to be.
We have to have independent verification. Do you think you could do that in a month?
Your Honor. And I appreciate your leniency on the sentencing, and I'll be back in March.
Well, and I have to tell you, it goes up every time.
I know. I just don't know how to explain to people that a sovereign nation means I have no home. I have only obligations by God.
Well, I understand people have that philosophical outlook, and you sort of have a parallel society that people claim to be part of the sovereign citizen movement. But the courts have well addressed that
We are in America, and we have to follow the American law and town ordinances.
yes. So you're stuck with that as far as this court.
I thought it'd be a good argument, at least, Your Honor.
Well, I've been entertained by it before, so and I think they would rather get home this evening. So
Do you want to see at least the papal decree so you can verify that it's like legit?
or two. We wish the Pope good health and recovery, since I understand he has double pneumonia currently.
He does.
So
And basically apostasy charges, so.
I think the double pneumonia is a bigger problem.
Yeah, it is.
It did say 4 hours of community service, yeah, to be completed by our next court date, which is March 19th. Or appear back here on March 19th to explain why you didn't get it done and risk contempt.
No contempt, Your Honor.
All right. Please see my clerk for paperwork. Again, the way this is written out, there's 4 names here, and I'm going to see if I get them in the right order. Michael Joseph Morris Borick. Or what order is your name?
Michael Joseph Morris Bogart.
Okay. Sir, I believe you were here last meeting, and we continued this till today. Do you wish to be re-advised?
I was trying to ask you if I can request to one more continuous just because I've been like a lot of things happening in my personal life, like finding a new job, new housing. So I actually don't have time.
All right,
yet
I can
to-
give you one more continuance, but that will be the final one. Um, is March 19th too soon?
March 19. A little bit too soon, yeah.
Our April date is what, the 20? Oh, we're no April date. May 21st, it'll be spring before you're back. No excuses.
That works.
5/21/25 at 5. See you then. See my clerk for paperwork relief. And again, I have, I guess, the same issue about the order they wrote the names. But it looks like, is it Dana Kashika? Okay. Ma'am, you've been here previously and continued this till today. You need to be re-advised.
I have not been here before.
Oh, you just postponed your reading. All right, well then, let's begin. You understand that you're here charged with violating model traffic code section 1101, speeding more than 10 and less than 19 miles an hour over the posted limit. There's a note here specifically 33 and a 25. Do you understand the nature of the charge?
Do.
The maximum penalty on this is 4 points on your driving record and $1,000 fine. Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Do.
You were provided a written advisement of legal rights. Did you get a chance to read and review your legal rights? Do you have any questions about your rights?
I did not get the evidence until today.
No, I'm asking you about your legal rights. The sheet that describes court procedures and legal rights. Okay. Do you have any questions about that?
No.
Okay. You feel you understand your legal rights? Do you know what a trial is? You understand you have a right to an attorney?
I do.
And I understand you'd like to reschedule this.
I wanted to do a continuance because I didn't have a chance to take a look at the evidence.
I will give you till our March court date, which is the 19th. Please see my court clerk for paper. Is it Daniel Moldavian? How do you say your names? Don. Sir, you were charged with allegedly violating model traffic code section 1101, speeding more than 10 and less than 19 miles an hour over the posted limit, specifically a 36 and 25 mile an hour zone. Do you understand the nature of the charge of speeding?
Yes.
Maximum possible penalty is 4 points on your driving record and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
You were provided a written advisement of legal rights for you to change to read and review your legal rights. Do you have any questions about those rights? Do you feel you understand them? Do you know what a trial is?
Yes.
And you know you have a right to an attorney. And I have a note you'd like to plead not guilty and have this matter set for trial.
Yes.
We will accept your plea of not guilty and schedule this for trial next month, March 19th. Do you want to do this early or late?
Whatever you would like to.
What would the prosecutor, you want to check with Nick, what,
It's usually my bill before this.
yeah, I just know if he gets done and he's sitting around, or he wants to do it early, or he wants to do it late. Hang on a minute while we check with the prosecutor what his schedule is.
You said after the arraignments?
Okay, so March 19th at 5:45. Also known as quarter to 6. Please see the court clerk's paperwork. Charles Bassett. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
You were summoned to court to answer two allegations, two charges. One is you are alleged to a failure to obey a traffic control device. Do you understand that charge?
Yes, sir.
Maximum penalty on that is 4 points on your driving record and a possible fine of $1,000. You understand the maximum penalty?
Yes, sir.
Second charge, it's alleged that you violated Model Traffic Code Section 1402, careless driving. Do you understand the nature of careless driving? Maximum penalty for that charge is 4 points on your driving record and a possible fine as high as $2,650. You understand the maximum penalty on that charge?
Yes.
As to both charges, you were provided a written advisement of legal rights. Did you get a chance to read and review those legal rights? Do you have any questions about your legal rights? Do you feel you understand them? Do you know what a trial is? You understand you have a right to an attorney?
Yes.
I don't have any paperwork telling you what you'd like to do, so tell me.
We did a proposed deal with the prosecutor.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute, it's tucked way in the back. All right. I have, the prosecutor is going, in exchange for you pleading guilty to a 6-point speeding, dismiss the 2 original charges. Is that correct? All right. He's requiring a level 1 driving class. And I will tell you, I will require a short essay that's more like a math problem. If that changes your mind about anything. Okay. You understand by pleading guilty to careless driving, I'm sorry, to speeding more than 20 over the speed limit, a 6-point violation, that you are giving up all the rights listed in the right sheet, which means there'll be no trial, no witnesses. The prosecutor will not have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You are giving up your presumption of innocence and right to an attorney. Did anybody threaten you, force you, coerce you, or otherwise make you plead guilty against your will? Anybody promise you anything that's not been said in court? Is this your free and voluntary plea? Are you under the influence of anything that affects your ability to make a decision? Now that I've asked the right questions, how do you plead this speeding more than 20 over? Court accepts your plea if I may freely, voluntarily, and knowingly made. You're entitled to and welcome to make a statement, but not required to. Is there anything you'd like to tell me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me see. Our finding from that is, I believe. The fine will be, are you working?
Yes, sir.
Fine is 145. Court costs and surcharge are 30 and 25. That gets you to 200 even. You've agreed to the level 1 driving class. And I have an order for a quick math problem, which is compute your speed. These were, neither of these were speeding. I'm not going to add the other essay because this doesn't say you were speeding. Just the driving class.
Oh, no, I see.
Because otherwise we have to guess at what the speed was.
Okay.
You get out of the second.
Okay, thank you.
Normally I make, on that chart, if you pled to, I normally make people calculate their speed at feet per second, the speed limit at feet per second, stopping distance at the speed you're going, the stopping distance at the speed limit. So you know the difference between those things. And then write me a short essay about what you do if an elk or child popped out on the road.
I understand. I wasn't going very fast.
Okay. I never read the actual ticket in case there's a trial. I don't have any bias by what's in place. So, can you pay that today or do you need a payment plan?
Payment plan.
How many months do you need?
I could pay it on Friday.
Oh, all right. Well, all right, that's fine. Just for our records. All right, you see my court. Carly Foster. And you're summoned to court for allegedly violating section 1101 of the Model Traffic Code, speeding. You understand the nature of the charge.
Yes, sir.
Specifically 10 to 19 over. Penalty is 4 points on your driving record and a fine of up to $1,000. You understand the penalty.
Yes.
You were provided the written advisement of legal rights to get a chance to read and review your legal rights.
Yes.
Do you have any questions about your rights?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel you understand them? Do you know what a trial is? You understand you have a right to a lawyer.
Yes, sir.
I have paperwork that says you wish to enter into an agreement to plead to a 2-point defective vehicle. Is that correct? You understand by pleading guilty to that amended charge, you are giving up all the rights listed in the right sheet, which means there will be no trial, there will be no witnesses. The prosecutor will not have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You're giving up your presumption of innocence and right to an attorney.
Yes.
Did anybody threaten you, force you, coerce you, or make you plead guilty against your will? Anybody promise you anything that's said in court?
No, sir.
Is this your free and voluntary plea? Are you under the influence of anything that affects your ability to make a decision? Now we've answered all those questions. How do you plead to defective vehicle? Court accepts your plea, find it freely, voluntarily, and knowingly made. Anything you'd like to tell me?
No, sir.
The original charge, the fine would have been 140. You'd have all those costs. I will. You have a decent driving record. Reduce the fine to $100, but the $30 and 20 court costs and surcharge add 55. So your total is 155. Can you pay that, or do you need time?
Need time.
A month enough or more? A month, okay. Pay it by then or come back to explain to me why you couldn't.
Thank you.
Please see my court clerk. Must have a new officer writing these in a different order. I can't tell what his first name and last name. Looks like, is it Jake Ratlitz? What's your correct name, sir?
It's Jake Rockwitz.
Okay. And you're here on a show cause, I guess, about completing a sentence previously imposed.
Repeat that, please.
You've already been sentenced on this case.
I have, yes.
You haven't completed your level one driving by today.
I have the certificate with me.
Oh, all right. Then I guess show that to my clerk, and we don't have anything else we need to do.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And I also do have like the PDF version of that.
Okay.
Sierra Real or Ryle? How do you say your name? Ms. Real, you were summoned to court to answer allegations you violated section 1101 of the Model Traffic Code, speeding more than 25 over the posted limit. You understand the charge?
Yes.
Maximum penalty on speeding more than 25 over the posted limit is 6 points on your driving record. Fine as high as $2,650 and possibly 10 days in jail. You understand the penalty?
Yes.
You were provided the written advisement of legal rights. You get a chance to read and review those legal rights. Do you have any questions about those rights? Do you feel you understand them?
Yes.
Do you know what a trial is? You understand you have a right to an attorney. You have paperwork that says you wish to agree with the prosecutor, plead guilty to a 3-point special hazard speeding. Take a level one driving class, and I'll tell you I will add an essay to that. Is that what you want to do? You understand by pleading guilty to that charge, you are giving up all the rights listed on the right sheet, which means there'll be no trial, there'll be no witnesses. The prosecutor will not have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You are giving up the presumption of innocence and right to an attorney. Did anybody threaten you, force you, coerce you, or otherwise make you plead guilty against your will? Did anybody promise you anything that's not been said in court? Is this your free and voluntary plea? Are you under the influence of anything that affects your ability to make a decision? Now we've gone over that. How do you plead to 3-point speed?
Guilty.
Or accept your plea, find me freely, voluntarily, and right. You're entitled to make a statement and welcome to make a statement, but not required to make a statement. Is there anything else to tell me?
No.
Or we'll make the fine $145, $55 in costs and surcharge, a total of $200. Are you working?
Yes.
Do you need a payment plan?
No.
And level one driving class to be completed not later than, can you do that in a month or you need longer?
I can do it in a month.
Or appear or get a call the court clerk for an extension. Also, court standard essay, speed limit and speed you were going in feet per second and stopping distances at each, and what would happen if an elk or a child knocked out in front of you. Also by then, unless you need more time, you're gonna get more time from my court clerk if you need it. Any questions? Please see my court clerk.
Thank you.
Jacob Lopez. Mr. Lopez, you were summoned to court to answer allegations you violated Frisco Ordinance 127-10, destruction of private property. Do you understand the charge? Maximum penalty is up to 364 days in jail and or a $2,650 fine or a combination of both. Do you understand the possible penalty? You were provided the written advisement of legal rights to you a chance to read and review the legal rights. Do you have any questions? Do you feel you understand them? Yes. You know what a trial is? You don't know what a trial is. All right. Yeah, you have the right to contest these charges. And the way we do that, we have a court hearing, which is a trial. And at a trial, the prosecutor is required to bring in the witnesses against you, and they're sworn to tell the truth. And then he asks them questions, and then you get a turn to ask them questions from your perspective. And what witnesses have to say, or the exhibits like photos or whatever that they might bring in, that becomes the evidence in the case. You have the right to bring in your own witnesses. You can get free subpoenas from court, that you have to have them properly served, and that might cost money. But you're not required to, because the prosecutor has the burden of proof to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You or yourself may testify, but are not required to, because you're presumed innocent, and the prosecutor has to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. But if you who choose to, you may testify, but you get treated like any other witness, in that you get cross-examined by the prosecutor after you get a chance to make a statement. After all the witnesses are heard, the court then makes a decision. That's basically what we call a trial.
Okay.
Is that clear? All right. And you have a right to an attorney. I have that instead of contesting these charges, you wish to enter into what's called a deferred judgment agreement. This is a procedure where if you fulfill the terms of this contract, it gets dismissed, so you will not have a record. So the way this works is you are expected to state a plea of guilty to this original charge of destruction of property. And the conditions that I'm seeing here are simply not to have any other criminal charges during the next 12 months. And if you do that and pay the court fees for that, the case at the end of that will be dismissed and by Colorado statute automatically sealed from public view. If on the other hand, if any time you violate the conditions, such as you are charged and convicted of another crime somewhere else, then there'd be a hearing about whether you violated the conditions. And if it was proved, then this case would go on to the public record and be subject to being resentenced, and could also face the same penalty all over again. Prosecutors also reserving restitution for 91 days. You understand restitution is possibly paying for the damages. You understand that procedure?
Yes.
You understand by pleading guilty, you're giving up all the rights listed in the right sheet, which means there'll be no trial, there'll be no witnesses. The prosecutor will not have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You are giving up your presumption of innocence and right to an attorney.
Yes.
Did anybody threaten you, force you, coerce you, or otherwise make you plead guilty against your will?
No.
Anybody promise you anything not said in court?
No.
Is this your free and voluntary?
I think so.
Are you under the influence of anything that influences your ability to make a decision?
No.
Now we've covered the qualifying questions. How do you plead to destruction of property?
Guilty.
Court accepts your plea but defers it pursuant to the agreement, finding it to be freely, voluntarily, and knowingly made. You're entitled to make a statement and welcome to, but not required to. Is there anything you'd like to tell me? Court will impose the $100 deferred judgment fee and $30 surcharge for a total of $130. Are you working?
Not working?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
You're under the surcharge as well.
Hmm?
Is there a surcharge?
No. Yeah. Or if you need it, then I'll reduce the fine. My
That's
other
council.
courts, we have a deferred judgment fee, which is $100.
Okay.
So if you need to break it down that way, it's 75, 25.
Okay.
Totals 130. How are you supporting it here? Who are you living with?
I live with my dad right now.
In Dillon with
My dad.
your dad. Okay. All right. you may, in lieu of paying $130, do 7 hours of community service.
Yeah.
So you have a choice.
When do we need to have that done by, sir?
All those, any reason you can't either pay or do the 7 hours by next court date?
I'll do the 7 hours.
Okay. Can you do that within the next month?
Yeah.
Well, come back, and talk to me about it. Any question? Here's I am out of files, so we will go off the record until we have more files.
Question before I leave.
Yes.
Where in community service?
We let you find that. I don't know if you heard me talking to the other gentleman earlier. There's the Family Intercultural Resource Center in Silverthorne. There's Breckenridge Outdoor Education Center in Breckenridge, which is for handicapped skiers. There's SOS School Board Outreach Society. Any church, anything that's a charity that's officially recognized by the federal government is a 501c3 charity under the tax code. Okay. They need to send us your hours on letterhead. Okay. You need to see my court clerk.
Okay.
Now we'll go over. We have any old warrants or anything to go over? Okay, good.
I don't know if you want to see this or not.
Why was this juvenile? I can see, I should have looked at the mother. I just think he wasn't, I just think he was small.
Yeah. This is the gentleman who's here about the camping.
Yes.
He wanted to have his cities heard. I'm sure it's-
So,
he was swearing at me,
oh,
but he wanted everything heard to him. Think so. Yeah, put all the cases together. He's gone now, doesn't matter.
no, he's got 2 cases from March, right? All right. But they're not set, well, they're set for advisement.
Correct.
All right. Now that's all we can do. That's 4 left.
Okay, John?
Yes, yes, just sit right here.
Another destruction of property. This is the same thing, same. So this is someone underage, yes?
What's the last name?
Sobo, S-O-B-O. Or Martinez Sobo. I'm looking for the birthday. 2010, that means he's 14, 15, okay. All right. Done the record? All right, court will be back on the record. Court calls the case of Emmanuel Martinez Sobo, or is it Sobo Martinez? Hi. Gee, it's only been 8 hours.
I'm gonna do a interpretation for mom. Do you want mom here in the podium or she can sit up here?
I at least need her to acknowledge, when I do the rights, he doesn't need the translation?
No.
Okay. She can sit over there and you just translate over there. So yeah, I guess I should give you the interpreter something. Do you solemnly swear you will faithfully translate each and every word stated verbatim from Spanish, from English to Spanish and Spanish to English, to the best of your ability under penalty of perjury?
I do. My name is Patricia Cruz.
Emmanuel, which way is your names? Martinez Soba or Soba or Martinez?
Martinez Sorto.
Oh, that's what an R, okay. I look real carefully. Sir, you were summoned to court to answer allegations you violated Frisco Municipal Ordinance 127-10, destruction of private property. You understand the charge? Maximum penalty, as you're a juvenile, is not jail, but possible up to a 2-year placement in a juvenile detention facility and or a $2,650 fine. You understand the maximum penalty? Yeah. You were provided a written advisement of legal rights. Did you get a chance to read and review those? Did you get a chance to read and review those? I assume that's your mom.
I did not review it with my mom, but I did read them all.
Okay. Do you feel you understand them?
Yeah.
Do you know what a trial is?
Yes.
You understand you have a right to an attorney?
Yeah.
Mom, is there any questions you have about his rights or what he's doing? I have paperwork that says you wish to enter into a deferred judgment and sentence. Is that correct? You
Can I? All right. I did not destroy the windshield, but I did trespass inside the vehicle because of curiosity. That's what I'm pleading.
If you need time to think about this, this is an offer from the prosecutor. The judge can't change the charges. That all I do is I'm like the umpire in baseball, guilty or not guilty at a trial. And I can take that into consideration at the sentence. But the prosecutor's offering you this procedure where you would state a plea of guilty to this original charge. And the only conditions are to not be convicted of any other criminal offenses for the next 12 months and pay the fees. And they're reserving restitution. They're not even requiring a class, which I'm kind of surprised. So it's basically just stay out of trouble for the next 12 months. Pay going to be about $130 or 7 hours of community service. And possibly a future court hearing about restitution. If you didn't destroy anything, that would come up in that restitution hearing. Yeah. Do you understand this procedure? Okay. I think I left off. If you're alleged to be convicted of a crime somewhere else, you'd be summoned back to court for a hearing. If it was proved you violated the conditions, then this goes on the permanent record and you get resentenced. You understand that part too? You understand by pleading guilty, you are giving up all the rights listed in the right sheet, which means there'll be no trial, there'll be no witnesses. The prosecutor will not have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You're giving up your presumption of innocence and right to an attorney. Yeah. Did anybody threaten you, force you, coerce you, or otherwise make you plead guilty?
Yes.
Did anyone make you do this? Or is this your decision?
My decision.
The other way we say, is this your free and voluntary plea? Can you repeat that?
Sorry, I was interrupted by the.
Sure. Is this your free and voluntary plea?
Just
Mostly voluntary. Just, and you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you under the influence of anything that affects your ability to make a decision?
Excuse me, sorry.
Are you under the influence of anything? Now we've covered those qualifying questions. How do you plead to destruction of property? Guilty or not?
I plead guilty.
Freely, voluntarily, and knowingly made. And I can't tell
Yeah, Your Honor,
whether you signed this or
I'm
not.
sorry, I know, we initially agreed upon a recommendation of community service instead of a fine, but the defendant would really prefer a fine as sentencing rather than
I still
community
need a
service.
signature on this, so I think.
Have I not signed it at all?
You signed it, but he didn't, as best I can tell, unless one of these scribbles is his signature. There's nothing in the defendant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I'm not very good at court clerk.
That's why I'm here. Thank you. Okay, I think we left off with you entered your plea of guilty. Yes. And and I accepted it, finding it be freely and deferred it, finding it be freely, voluntarily, and knowingly made. You're entitled to make a statement before I impose sentence. You want to say anything? Okay. $75 fine, $25 surcharge, $30 court costs, $130 or 7 hours of community service. And I understand you prefer paying the fine. And can you do that today or by when?
We could do it today.
All right. Please see my court clerk. John Hunter Quisenberry.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening. Sir, you were summoned to court to answer allegations you violated Model Traffic Code Section 1402, no proof of insurance. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Excuse me. I had Silverthorne this morning, so my voice is wearing out. The maximum penalty is up to $2,650 and 4 points on your driving record. The minimum penalty by state statute is $500 with mitigation that can be cut to half that. The mitigation usually meaning you've gotten insurance, but it can be other factors too. Do you understand the penalty?
Yes, Your Honor.
You will provide the written advisement of legal rights. You get a chance to read and review your rights.
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Feel you understand them? Know what a trial is?
Yes, Your Honor.
Understand you have a right to an attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Understand you'd like to come back next month?
Yes.
All right. We'll see you back next month.
Same time, 19th.
It happens to be because good old February is 28 days, so March is always exactly the same. Except leap year.
What's that?
Except leap year. Okay, just get a note from my clerk, please. Looks like we're out of files again.
What's that?
I'm talking to my clerk. Looks like we're out of files.
We have to recess. I'm not sure where you're from.
We all went for Your Honor, I'm sorry.
That's all right. One more, who are all these new people?
This one is a restitution, I believe.
Oh, okay.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Kevin Reedville.
Have you spoken to the prosecutor yet?
Yeah, I spoke to him about Nick Line and I gave him some information on restitution.
Okay.
I'm the owner of the business.
Okay. Thank you. That's you.
Don't know what that came from.
Yeah, I had for a whole insurance card, but it show your bill. Holy shit, you just asked for it. That you got that.
All right. Roll call case is Edward Martinez.
Good afternoon, sir.
You're back and you're still under interpreter, so. Sir, you were summoned to court for the charge of improper backing. You understand what that means?
Yes, sir.
The possible penalty is 2 points on your driving record and a fine as high as $1,000. And the possibility of restitution. Do you understand the possible penalty?
¿Sí entiende lo que es la máxima penalidad? Yes.
You were provided a written advisement of legal rights.
Yes, sir.
We don't have a Spanish version in this court? Okay. I have the English version signed. Did someone translate this for you?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about your legal rights? Do you feel you understand them?
Yes, sir.
Were these translated for you?
No, sir.
Do you need them translated?
Yes, sir.
All right. Could you either translate these for him or give him, we have a Spanish version? Why don't you give him the Spanish version? Why don't you take a minute to read the Spanish version before we go forward?
Is that?
Have you had an adequate amount of time to read and understand the Spanish version?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about your legal rights?
No, sir.
Do you feel you understand them?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what a trial is?
Yes, sir.
You understand you have a right to an attorney.
Yes, sir.
I don't have any paperwork telling me how we're proceeding, so why don't you tell me, are you pleading not guilty and having a trial? Are you asking to postpone till next month to talk to an attorney? Are you pleading guilty to the charge? What do you like to do?
For next month.
Okay.
Sir. Thanks.
March 19th, 5 o'clock, be here.
Okay.
All right, please see my clerk before you go.
Okay.
Next order of business.
We have a restitution.
Okay,
Your Honor.
I don't have a file yet. So.
I'm sorry, I just gave it to the court clerk.
Um, Senor Pineda Mendez. Ms. We're here for a restitution hearing. Do you understand that? Do you know what a restitution hearing is? You previously pled on these charges. And there's a claim that someone else was injured and they're making a claim for damages. That is for money. You understand that's why we're here?
Yes.
Okay. I got, you can sit over here instead of back there.
Me?
No, no. Well, yes, both of you.
So we're ready?
No, he's ready to proceed with his witnesses, I assume.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. So the prosecutor goes first and will present the witnesses making the claim. You can continue to sit back there, but usually we let people sit up here so they can make notes. Your choice. Please proceed, counselor.
People call Kevin Bredeveld. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Okay. Sir, could you come forward over by this end chair and raise your right hand and take an oath?
Fortunately, I'm unable to perform that task.
I didn't know she was listening. Do you solemnly swear you will testify to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Please be seated.
Right here?
Yeah. Please proceed.
Kevin,
Hello.
state your name and spell your last name for the record, please.
My name is Kevin Bredeveld. My last name is spelled V as in Victor, R as in Romeo, E as in Echo, E as in David, E as in Echo, B as in Victor, E as in Echo, L as in Lima, D as in David.
And Kevin, are you presently employed?
I am. I own the business G&G Roofing LLC.
And I guess, why don't you tell the court why you're here tonight?
The reason why I'm here is because the incident that occurred outside of our shop affected G&G Roofing financially. The way it affected us is during on August 24th, when the car swerved around the dumpster and then kind of back around, the forklift operator was turning to head back to our shop and ran into the forks of our forklift. It looks like it hit both of them, but it damaged one of them beyond repair. And so what we had to do is identify a place to get new forks so that we could keep running our business. When we don't have a forklift, we cannot load materials on the trucks. We cannot move materials around the shop to be organized and efficient for the next day. So we identified a place in Denver. You have to buy 2 forks as a set. So we quickly, I sent one of my employees down to Denver. I think it might have been the second day after to get the forks. And during that time, he could not be working to generate revenue, right? So I had to have him drive a truck, use the gas. I believe that was maybe an hour and a half to Denver and then back. Once he got back, we attached the new fork to our forklift. And that's a summary of what happened to us.
You stated that you got the forklift, or the forks, I should say, from a shop in Denver?
Yes.
And did you pay for the forks?
Good question. Yes, I paid for the forks. The receipt is in the
Well,
information that I think you might have handed the judge.
you beat me to it, so there was a receipt for this
Yep.
transaction. Your Honor, I'm giving a copy to the defendant.
In the record, it's like the court's not received it yet.
Oh.
It has to go through this procedure.
I have what's been marked as People's Exhibit 1. I shared it with the defendant. May I approach the witness
May.
on the bench?
Thank you.
Kevin, do you recognize that document in front of you?
I do.
And how do you recognize it?
I recognize it. That is the receipt that we got for our credit card purchase of the new forks.
And does it look like a true and accurate copy of the receipt as you received it on the 26th?
Yes.
Does it appear to have been edited in any way other than the Exhibit 1 designation?
No.
Your Honor, I'd ask that this receipt from Toe Lift Inc. issued to Mr. Vredeveld be admitted into evidence.
Any objection? I'm sorry, who are you, sir?
I'm her husband and on her business as well. She works for me. And I was with her that day. So, we were.
Well, I have to be careful not to let you practice law.
Um,
She can speak, but you speaking is problematic for the court.
Okay, I'll let her speak. Speaking.
I want to know how, it's for sure that this is a receipt for the expenses.
Well, you can ask those questions on cross-examination. The court follows the rules of evidence, and unfortunately, when a person represents themselves, that's sometimes a disadvantage. But the rules of evidence are when it comes to a document, if the witness lays a foundation that says how this document got created and what it represents, and says that's what it represents, then usually it comes in. Actually, you do have the opportunity to do what we call a little French in court, voir dire the witness about the exhibit. So if you want to ask him only about the exhibit, you may ask questions about them. He's testified that he got this from when they paid it by credit card. I don't know if that answers your question or you have other questions. Do you wish to ask any questions? All right, do you object to the exhibit based on the rules of evidence or not?
She's telling me that she wants an attorney to continue.
I'm sorry, ma'am, you're too late for that. You should have requested this before all the witnesses were here today.
It's just not fair. They didn't give her the opportunity, the chance to present or hire an attorney. She's going on this point. And we have video as the accident as well. Had this gentleman is backing up with forks forward. She never served like this. The gentleman is saying. We have a dash cam from the vehicle as well, as she's going straight, speed limit. I was right behind her as well. So.
Do you have that today?
Yeah. She has.
Okay, well, you can present that.
She never got the proper. Last time when she was here, they asked her, it's better if you say you're guilty because you cannot win against what the cops say. I wasn't pressing you. So all I'm asking is for a fair trial, for her to get her lawyer. And we can resume however, if the evidence the gentleman is presenting, I'm assuming he has cameras in his business, which I know he does. And that can get presented to our lawyer and she can review this. And if we still believe the restitution is due, not a problem, it will be paid. But her going blindly with no an attorney, it's a little of an advantage. First of all, be her first language speaking
Sure.
Spanish.
Sir, I'm let you say more than you're entitled to say.
Appreciate that.
Any response? What notice was provided for today's hearing to the defendant?
I mean, I sent a copy of the motion for restitution to the defendant in the mail.
And when was that?
The 4th of February.
Okay. And did that, I haven't seen the motion. Did that contain amounts?
It did, yes. We're asking for $1,227.04.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna continue this to next month.
Okay.
There will be no more continuances. I'm sorry, sir. But I don't want you to end up with something they can appeal and then gets reversed to start all over. So it's better we postpone a month and dot all the i's and cross all the t's. I hope you can appreciate that.
Okay, I appreciate that.
All right. Do you want me to set a time?
I will see you next one.
Just the end of the docket? You want to set it for 6 or?
Yeah, Your Honor, I forget how many people pled not guilty today and who had trials when.
We had a lot of continuances, but without a clue as to what they were gonna do. So they were just
How many not guilties did we have today?
just one. 6 o'clock. 5:30. 5:40. Actually, I told the guy his trial was 5:45, so we might as well make this 6 o'clock or 6:15.
May I ask the court clerk what the docket next month is looking like?
Right now it's small. We can cut it off earlier if you need to.
I could always do them earlier, but I don't know if you can get here from Leadville or not.
No, that's fine. I was only maybe gonna ask to continue the trial to April rather than March, just to have this as the sole kind of hearing, since month turnaround on the trial is a bit quick.
Charge on that, I don't remember.
The trial,
That I said for 5:45.
speeding on the 19th.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
that's 15 minutes.
I'll try to make it 10.
All right, well, apologies, everybody, but to make sure everybody has a chance to be fairly heard, we will continue this next month,
Sounds good.
but no further continuance. Yeah, I'm also ordering exchange of exhibits should occur not later than 2 weeks from now.
All of the exhibits that we're presenting are in the,
But I don't think you've seen their video.
I do not believe so, no.
We have an appointment with the attorney tomorrow, so I'll make sure.
So the prosecutor needs to get a copy of your video. Within 2 weeks.
Also that my contact information isn't on here. So if you could just contact the court clerk and she'll share my contact.
Any other questions by any of you? All right, we'll see you all next month.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We are adjourned till March 19th.
What happened with the camping guy? Guilty.
Alta and anyway. I told him he couldn't make an oral motion. He had to put it in writing. And